Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Hello everyone and welcome to our first lesson in the Advanced Networks course. In this chapter, we will build the foundations that every networking engineer should master before studying more advanced topics such as routing protocols, Internet Protocol version 6, quality of service, etc. So in this lesson, we will begin by answering a simple but a fundamental question, which is what is a computer network? Then we will explore why computer networks are essential in today's digital world and discover the main components that makes every network function. Before we begin, let's look at the learning objectives. So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to define what a computer network is, explain why computer networks exist, and even identify the different components that makes up a modern communication network. So these concepts may seem simple, right? But they are the building blocks for every networking technology that we will study later in this course. Before defining a computer network, let's think about our daily lives. So, every day we send messages, attend online meetings, watch streaming videos, store files in the cloud, and even use smart devices at home. Although these applications seem very different, right? But they all depend on one common technology. This technology is called computer networks. So without networks, none of these services would be able to exchange information between the different users and the systems located anywhere in the world. So this is why networking has become one of the most important areas for computer science. Now, let's define what we mean by a computer network. So a computer network is what? Is a set of interconnected autonomous devices. These devices communicate and share resources using standardized rules called communication protocols. So let's briefly explain each part of this definition. First, the devices are autonomous in computer network. Means that each device operates independently with its own processor and operating system. Now, these devices communicate by exchanging data. They can share resources such as printers, files, databases, and even internet access. The communication is only possible because every device follows the same standardized communication protocol. These protocols define how data is transmitted and interpreted in the network. A network, by the way, can be very small, connecting only two computers in a home, or even extremely large, like the internet. So, one important concept in the previous definition is the word autonomous. As I said before, an autonomous device is capable of operating independently, such as computers, personal computers, smartphones, servers, and even IoT devices. Thus, a system where one central controller completely controls several dependent devices. In general, this system is known by a master-slave system, is not considered as a computer network in the traditional sense. So, in a network, each device has its own intelligence and participates in a communication independently. So, why do we build computer networks? The first objective is to enable reliable communication between geographically distributed users and systems. Networks also allow multiple users to share hardware resources such as printers, storage systems, and servers, which reduce duplication and costs. Also, they facilitate collaboration by allowing people to work together on shared documents and applications, regardless of their physical location. Modern networks improve reliability through redundancy and alternative communication paths, which ensure that the services remain available even if failures occur in the network. Another important objective is the scalability. As organizations grow, their networks must be able to expand without requiring a complete redesign to the whole network. Networks also reduce operational costs by centralizing services and optimizing resource utilization. Finally, they support distributed processing, cloud computing, and mobile access, enabling users and applications to communicate from virtually anywhere. Today, computer networks support far more than simple file sharing. For example, cloud computing platforms distribute services across thousands of interconnected servers. Also, financial institutions now can process secure transactions in real time. Artificial intelligence applications rely on networks to exchange a huge number or huge volumes of data. Hospitals can exchange medical information instantly, while industries also use networks to automate production systems. Billions now of Internet of Things devices continuously communicate through networks. So, in other words, modern society depends on computer networks. Now, what are the main components of a computer network? So, every computer network is built from three main categories of components. So, the first category consists of end devices, also known as hosts. They are the devices that generate, receive, and even process the information, such as computers, smartphones, servers, IoT devices, etc. In the second category, we have what we call the communication media, so which provide the physical or wireless path used to transport data between devices, such as copper cables, optical fiber cables, and even wireless communication. Finally, intermediate devices such as switches, routers, access points, and firewalls are responsible for forwarding, controlling, and protecting network traffic. So, together, these three categories form the infrastructure for every modern computer network.